My name is Cynthia Rodarte, and I have been attending Hermiston Assembly for about a year and a half. Prior to that, let me set the stage for you. It was Thursday, March 19th, 2020, and I had come home from work to find my husband sleeping on the futon at the end of our bed. It made me very emotional. It was actually because he had been MIA for about 2 weeks. This was actually very common for us, and we had been going through this for about 5 years. You see, my husband is an addict, and because I don't allow him to use at home, he would often leave to use drugs, and after being gone for an hour or so, turned into 8 or 9 hours, turned into a couple of days, where he would feel guilty and not come home for several weeks at a time. On this particular day, I had had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. I was overwhelmed with work. I had a lot on my shoulders with the kids, and I felt like I was gonna snap. I didn't wake him up or even attempt to try to talk to him. I went outside. I sat in the grass in my work shoes and my work clothes and looked around at the house we had built, this property we bought, the grass we planted and watered and watched grow. This whole vision of what I thought my life was supposed to be like and what I was working so hard to obtain wasn't that at all. For about an hour, I sat outside. It started to rain super hard. I sent my kids inside and I sat outside crying. I started to hear these things inside my head that I wasn't a good mom. I wasn't doing enough for my kids. I didn't have anybody to talk to, nowhere to turn. So while it poured down rain, I sat outside. I decided I was gonna kill myself tomorrow after work. I went to bed and woke up in the morning with this tight feeling in my stomach. I made sure my kids were up and on their Chromebooks, ready for school before I left. And on the way to work, I was driving on Highway 730. A car pulled out in front of me. It was during that time that I heard God say, here's your sign. I was life-flighted to Catholic. I had a lacerated liver, a torn ACL, dislocated jaw, black eye, and my whole body hurt. The next day I was lying in bed, doing the whole bed rest thing like the doctor required. I was scrolling Facebook and came across the Hermiston Assembly's video when they were live streaming. And I don't know why I clicked on it, but I did. Very emotional. I was crying hearing Alex sing worship music, and I felt like every song was like talking directly to me. Pastor Terry came on and delivered his message, and I can't tell you today what that was about. But again, I felt like it was talking directly to me. From that Sunday on, I continued to watch. And on Easter Sunday, I asked God to come into my life. My kids and I were sitting in the living room watching on the phone. And I said the prayer with Pastor Terry. And I felt like this heaviness over me, like I was being comforted. I went to a women's retreat with some of the girls from church. And at the retreat, I received the gift of the Holy Spirit. After that, baptism, water baptism, was heavy on my mind and my heart. And a few Sundays later, Alex talked about it at church, and I was baptized. Fast forward to a year later, a year and a half later, we're still here at Hermiston Assembly. I'm helping with the youth program. My daughter moved back from California. She's helping with the youth program. We don't want to miss church. We don't want to miss youth group. We don't want to miss house parties. This is our home. Before I knew Jesus, I was hopeless, empty, cold, alone. After finding Jesus, I feel hopeful. I feel more positive, loved, cared about.